Jumped on here and give you guys a little bit more of an update. I was just talking with my mom. I don't know why, but I got really, really sick. The nurse said she thinks it could have been either the food or that bowel prep drink, but I went to the bathroom about an hour and a half ago and had horrible, horrible diarrhea and projectile vomiting at the same time. It was horrible. So either I got a foodborne illness from the food I ate or the medication. The nurse said that I guess that bowel prep drink can have side effects of like diarrhea, but she's like, I don't know why the projectile vomiting. It's the worst thing when you deal with it coming up and out at the same time. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The only last time that happened to me was when I had thyroid cancer. I used to do that every day for 3 months straight, and I know that that's not what it is because the blessing in the colonoscopy is that the tumors were gone. So, hey Andrew, good to see you, my good brother. Yeah, I was talking with my mom and her phone died, and I said, well, let me jump on live, update y'all, and then I'll call her back. Because grown as I am, that made me feel like I wanted my mom. Because it was horrible. Because it was like I was laying down and my stomach was just kind of gurgling. I just thought maybe it was gas and went to the bathroom, and no, it definitely wasn't. And I was feeling super nauseous, and I was like, dude, please don't. And then next thing you know, it just everything I ate came out. It came up and it came out at the same time. So I'm hoping that this is the last time that happens because my body's already going through a lot and I don't want that to happen again. But like I said, I'm very grateful because with the colonoscopy, there's no sign of cancer, and that is a huge blessing. Is that the tumors that were there resolved on their own. They said we don't see any more tumors. There were some polyps, and they removed them. And then I have internal and external hemorrhoids, which I already knew that. They said they could have removed the internal ones, but because I have external, I do have to see the colorectal surgeon. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button on the way in. And so they were telling me that because I did get admitted through the ER, that the primary that they're going to refer me to should be able to get me in with a colorectal surgeon that's affiliated with the brand of hospitals. So like the brand of hospitals, they have, other hospitals that are affiliated with them. And they said, so we can get you in ASAP with a primary that can refer you to a colorectal surgeon that's affiliated with one of our other sister hospitals. And they'll be able to get you in a lot faster since you got admitted. And so, again, all of this is working together for my good, because if I if I still had medical insurance, I wouldn't have qualified for the hospital systems. They have their own financial assistance, and they signed me up for that today. So that way I don't have to come out of pocket any sort of cost. So that's a blessing. Um, so my mom was concerned. She's like, but you're still leaving with, the issues with bleeding. I said, true, but normally to get in with a colorectal surgeon, it can take anywhere from, 3 to 6 months. So I don't anticipate me having to deal with this much longer. And they were saying it's a possibility I may even be able to get in as early as next week. So I'm really happy about that. Um, I just don't know what caused that projectile vomiting. That shit was like some exorcist shit. I had to laugh afterwards because I'm like, bro, that was nuts. And bless the heart of both my nurses, they were the ones that had to clean it up. And the main one, she's like, I don't know what caused that. I was like, it was probably the food. Because today was the first day I've eaten solid food. Because yesterday I was on a liquid diet since they had to do the colonoscopy earlier this morning. And, it might have just been a foodborne illness from the food. So I don't feel well, but I'm grateful because everything I've needed to do for so long is finally getting taken care of. And I'm grateful to know that the tumors have resolved. So bowel cancer has been ruled out. And polyps have been removed. And then hopefully I'll be able to get the internal and external hemorrhoids removed soon. So I wanted to keep you guys updated on what's going on. And thank you all for your positive energy, especially Andrew. Thank you for all of your comments. Because I'm not going to lie, I've been pretty out of it, I think, due to the anesthesia since the colonoscopy earlier this morning. So, I was able to go through and approve the comments and, heart them, but just haven't really had time to respond. So I figured I'd just say thank you to everybody here for your positive energy, and just continue to keep me in your prayers. I'm not sure if they're going to discharge me tomorrow or not, or we're technically later today or not. Initially, they said they were, but with what happened tonight, I'm not sure if they're going to want to keep me again. They were like, if you get sick like that again, then I may have to stay, which is fine if I do. But the thing I'm mostly grateful for is that bowel cancer is not an issue. So I thank God for that, especially seeing as how that runs in my family, and my aunt died from that. So, like I said, I wanted to keep you guys updated. I don't see any likes on the video. And I'm going to keep speaking healing and abundance and favor. Everything is aligning. And I'm just grateful for that. Like I said, sometimes the things that we might think are unfair or, why is this happening to me? It's just like Romans 8:28, all things work together for the good, for them that love God who are the called and the chosen. And so all of this needed to happen in order for me to get immediate medical help. And so I am just very grateful. Andrew said, happy there's no cancer. Exactly. That is like huge that the tumors resolved, because my mom was like, so what happened with the tumors? I was like, well, I mean, they're gone. So as far as I'm concerned, that's prayers answered. And getting the medical treatment is another answered prayer. So the nausea medication has helped, thankfully. And I'm just gonna, try to get as much rest as I can. And I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on. But I wanted to thank all of you for your concern, for those who called or text or sent messages. Thank you. And, when I'm feeling better, I'll get back to, my regular lives. But I just wanted to let you all know what was going on. And my mom she was tickled because I said at my big age, after that happened, all I wanted to do was lay my head on my mom's lap. Because when I was a kid, I would always get really, really sick. Because like I said, we didn't know I had Graves' disease as a kid. Because it is something you are born with, but I wasn't diagnosed until I was in my 20s. And I told her, I said, I remember as a little girl, anytime I would throw up, and I don't know why this is, but I always cry. I have no idea why. Tears just always start running down my eyes when I'm throwing up. I don't know if it's a physical thing or, but I always low key get scared still. It's weird. But it was so much. It was like pretty much everything I ate today came out, and I wasn't like crying, sobbing. It was just, the tears were coming out while I was throwing up. And in that moment, I just wanted my mom. And she was like, oh, she said, that's because you're the baby. And she said, I remember when you were little and you would get sick, you would lay on my lap and you would twirl like the end of my skirt or the end of my shirt. And hey, old Charlie, good to see you. And we were laughing. I said, yep. And I was like, I'm in my early 40s and I still want my mom. So when I get sick. And so it was good to talk with her. And she was actually the first person to call today. Because after I didn't know what time they were going to schedule the colonoscopy, and they came pretty earlier this morning. And they, took me to go do it, and the people in that department were cool. One of the older guys was telling me about his mother-in-law that's 99. I was like, wow. And she's going through dementia, and I'm like praying for her, and he's like, you're here to get a colonoscopy and you're praying for my mother-in-law. I said, well, that's just what I do. I was like, she's lived a very long life. I couldn't imagine living to be 99. And so, like I said, I'm very grateful that pretty much everybody here has been really nice. It is a different energy when you're down in ER just because of all the pressure. But ever since I've been up in the admittance area, they've been really nice to me. And there was only one guy that was rude, the guy that transported me from this area to the colonoscopy area. He was kind of a dick. because they have to wheel me everywhere because I can't walk, and not without pain. And so he like refused to bring the wheelchair to me and like made me walk even though I was bleeding and telling him that it hurt. So I just gave them the feedback. I was like, please don't send him back because I don't know why that guy was acting like that. And they were like, oh, we'll take care of it. And they were so nice. But I've been like out of it ever since the colonoscopy and just like go, zoning in and out, falling asleep, waking up, falling asleep, waking up. And so they told me that they want me to be here at least until the afternoon to just see how I do. And then I guess just go from there. So like I said, I'm so grateful that there's no sign of bowel cancer. That is huge. That's a huge blessing. And the polyps are removed. So next step is just getting the internal and external hemorrhoids removed. And my homeboy was telling me when he had his colonoscopy, they removed the internal ones. I said, well, they told me that they could have removed them if I didn't have the external, and the external ones are the ones that are the worst, that are, the largest and cause me to bleed the most. And they're not equipped. Only a colorectal surgeon can remove both of them. So they were like, but, you know, with the referral, you shouldn't have to wait as long, especially because of you getting admitted. So I'm going to check into that on Monday. And, see, because tomorrow's a holiday, well, technically today, see what happens on Monday. And just go from there. Just now seeing all the comments. Oh, Charlie said, finna share something with you I wrote. Future is what lies and tells truth in your imagination. The mind plants seeds of ideas that can be manipulated and manifested into. I love that. Spiritual and physical reality. One's perception varies with the power of their thoughts. And that's exactly what I've been talking about. What you focus on, you give your power to. And even though I just got severely sick in the bathroom, I started speaking healing over my body. And this is just part of the journey. But I believe the reason the tumor is resolved is because I kept speaking healing over that. And tonight, more than likely, was because of the food. Because like I said, I was fine at lunch, but they brought me a Salisbury steak with mashed potatoes and green beans for dinner, and I don't eat beef or pork. So I didn't eat the Salisbury steak, but I did eat the mashed potatoes and gravy and the green beans, and I think maybe possibly the gravy could have triggered that caused the vomiting, because I'm like, if it was the food overall, I would have gotten sick after lunch, and I didn't get sick after lunch. My stomach was gurgling, but not like I wasn't feeling like I had to throw up. It wasn't until I went to the bathroom, and not trying to be gross, but that bowel drink is made to turn your bowels into yellow liquid, and it was a lot of that. So that's why the nurse was like, I think it was just probably the rest of that bowel prep that was still in your system that was causing the diarrhea. She was like, but it should definitely not be causing projectile vomiting. And even the pain medication they gave me, she's like, it can cause nausea, but it wouldn't cause projectile vomiting. So hey, Cody, good to see you. My other good brother. Oh, Charlie said healthy, positive thinking is important to remember stages of growth, which constantly, absolutely. And that's how you elevate your frequency. So like I said, even though my body just kind of put me through that. I'm so grateful that there is no cancer. Like, extremely, extremely grateful. Just looked up at the TV. There's something here about Kevin Hart. Wow. They said Kevin Hart is the highest paid comedian, $87,000 for stand ups. That's crazy. But yeah, so like I said, there's no bowel cancer. That is a huge victory. They removed the polyps that were there. And now I just have to get referred to a primary that'll refer me to colorectal surgeon, and they'll be able to remove all of the hemorrhoids, like the internal and external. They said more than likely they'll have to either use laser to remove them, or they do like a banding, or they, like, I guess, cut them off. I don't know. I just know that they're not equipped here to remove the external ones. They said if it was only internal, then yeah. So there's a lot of progress there. Cody said, did they bring you med? Oh yeah, they put, matter of fact, they put a new IV on, and after I came back from the bathroom, they gave me the nausea medicine through the IV, because my IV after the colonoscopy was all bloody. It was like leaking blood through the tape and stuff. And so they just did a new one. So, I mean, so far, my stomach's like a little bit nauseous, but not nearly like it was in the bathroom. Because it's like one of those things when you can feel yourself getting nauseous, and then I started feeling the burning acid sensation. I knew, I was like, man, I'm about to throw up on this while I'm on this toilet. It's the worst shit ever when you're like already having diarrhea, and then while you're having diarrhea, all I could do was just turn my head to the left and throw up. It was all over the floor. I had to put down those toilet seat covers on the floor, because I mean it was everywhere. It was like in front of me, all on the side. It covered the whole bathroom floor. And luckily the bathrooms here are like individual ones, so it didn't affect anybody else, but it was disgusting. And I was embarrassed, but they were like, don't be embarrassed. I'm like, I am though, because that smell is gross. Cody said, praise the Most High for that. Right. Like, I'm so happy that bowel cancer is not there, especially considering that it runs in my family and my aunt died from it. So my mom was really happy about that too. So I'm grateful. Like I said, she called me this morning and I was barely coherent. So then I called her this afternoon and I was still kind of out of it. And that's why I called her tonight, because I was like, I want my mommy. Grown ass women still want my mommy when I get sick. And we were laughing about that. Oh, Charlie said, my cuz got fourth stage cancer. I shaved off. Oh, you shaved your hair off for her. That's so sweet. And I'm speaking healing to your cousin. Definitely. Cody said, is it helping? Yeah, it is, because if not, I'd be vomiting in the little vomit bag. So that's why I just came and laid down. And they gave me this spray that's supposed to help with the pain for the external hemorrhoids. But because all that was going on, I wasn't able to use it. So I'm going to try that later today and see if it helps with the pain. But you're welcome, oh Charlie. You're welcome. So yeah, I just wanted to update you guys. And I told my mom, I was like, I'm afraid to eat now. She's like, no, you need to eat to see if it happens again, because that way, if it does, they can help you, as opposed to you getting discharged and it happening, and then you have to try to clean all that up when you don't feel good. And I was like, yeah, she's right. So they already took my requests for breakfast and lunch, and I guess we'll see how it goes. as far as if they decide to discharge me or if they decide to keep me. But like I said, I'm so grateful that bowel cancer is ruled out. The tumors are gone. They resolved on their own. That's nothing but God and prayers being answered. And just got to get through, each day. It's crazy. You said stick with Jello. That red Jello came up. It was gross. It was like everything came up. The chicken. Because for lunch, I had chicken with rice and carrots, which was actually really good. And a roll, like a wheat roll. And then for dinner, they brought me, like I said, Salisbury. Because I don't think they got the note that I don't eat beef or pork. So like I said, it could have been that gravy from the Salisbury steak. Because my body's not used to digesting beef or pork anymore. So any like even if I tried like when I ate that brisket, I got sick. You know, not this sick, but I definitely it went through my system, and that was like last week. Because one of the dinners I had ordered, it came with it, and but yeah, no, I think it was probably whatever something. I'm pretty sure I got a foodborne illness from what I ate for dinner because it was definitely all I ate were the green beans, and it was fresh green beans, which I enjoyed. I ate the green beans and the mashed potatoes and gravy, and then I tried to eat part of the roll, but because I was still physically weak, I ended up falling asleep. So I'm like, it was probably the mashed potatoes and gravy, is what I'm thinking. So yeah, no more Jello, because that was gross too. At first, I thought it was blood, then I was like, oh, I remembered I ate some red Jello. So we'll see how it goes at breakfast, and I'll definitely keep you guys posted. You said rest up, sis. Thank you. Appreciate you, Charlie. Good to see you in the chat, by the way. Good to see all of you in the chat. I got all three of my good brothers in the chat, Andrew, Cody, and Charlie. So I appreciate all of you, your prayers and the positive energy. Thank you. And Charlie, I'll definitely be keeping your sister in my prayers. And we're just let's all keep his sister in our prayers and speak healing to her. And I'll keep you guys posted. And like I said, thank you to those that reached out. I did see some notifications from Instagram, but like I said, I've been so out of it, I haven't even been on there yet. So to anybody that reached out on Instagram, thank you. I'm gonna be okay. Like I said, the biggest blessing is no cancer. That is a miracle, literally. It's a huge, huge blessing. So I'm grateful for that. Cody said, we love you, fam. Rest well and let God do. Thank you. I received that. Love you back. April, good to see you. Said praying for a speedy recovery. Thank you, my love. So yeah, I'm gonna get some more rest. I'm definitely dehydrated after that, but I don't want to drink any more juice. I was wondering if that might have did it too, because I've been drinking more apple juice. Like I definitely was feeling the acid come up when I was throwing up. But it was for real. It was like some shit out of Exorcist, bro. Like I haven't thrown up like that since I had thyroid cancer. So she said it was probably a blend of the rest of that bowel drink being in my system. The food. She was like, it had to be the food. So I was like, well, they made sure to put a note on my chart to not bring me anything with beef or pork in it. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, for breakfast, they took my order earlier today, and I told them turkey sausage with potatoes and cereal because I don't want to chance it with eggs because y'all remember I told y'all I was vegan for a couple of years, so my body is not used to dairy like that. Like I can eat cheese, And even with that, I have to do it moderately. But my body's not used to eggs or beef or pork anymore. So I stick to chicken and turkey and vegetables. That's pretty much what I eat. Like even when I get pizza, I always order vegetarian pizza. So even when I was at the place for the colonoscopy and I was telling the main guy, the main nurse, he was like, I saw that you have irritable bowel syndrome. He's like, and usually Graves' disease patients have problems with that. And I was like, yeah. I said, it's just crazy though, because I eat so healthy, you know. I um I drink at least a gallon, sometimes two, of purified drinking water every day. I hardly ever drink soda, and if I do drink soda, it'll be like ginger ale or Sprite mixed with like juice. I don't eat pork, I don't eat beef. I really try to stay away from fried foods. You know, I eat kale and veggies and chicken and turkey. So, um, I don't know. I just know I'm grateful that there is no bowel cancer. The tumors are gone. They resolved on their own. I'm grateful that I finally got the colonoscopy done and they removed the polyps. And now all I have to do is get the internal and external hemorrhoids removed by the colorectal surgeon. And I qualified for their financial assistance and the other hospitals. Grand Rising, Yvonne. Thank you. Yes, so glad there's no cancer. Right. Very grateful for that. I receive that love and prayers. Thank you. So, yeah, the next step is the colorectal surgeon, which again, I'll be able to get in sooner now that all this has happened. And I won't have to wait months to do it. And, after that, I should be all the way good. So, I am grateful. Not gonna lie, what happened tonight was scary a little bit, but I'm grateful. And that's why I called my mom, like, I wish I could lay my head on your lap like when I was a little girl. And she was like, oh. I was like, I could be 70 years old. I'm still want my mom. So um, she's been really attentive and I'm grateful. I'm learning patience because when I first messaged her that I was at the ER, I didn't hear from her for several hours and I was like getting, discouraged. And then when she called me, she was like, I was asleep. And I have to remember my mom's diabetic and she's 72. So, she's going through her own issues. So y'all please keep my mom in your prayers too, because she's having a lot of complications with her diabetes. And I'm not, there. Like normally when I was back home, I, would help her and go check on her and try to help her get to the doctor. And sometimes I even took her to the doctor. So, she's worried about me and I'm concerned. And, I just said, Mom, I thank God that you're still here because, my dad is gone. For some reason, I was really missing my dad today. He just was on my mind. And I don't know why I got so emotional thinking about him, but what that's letting me know is that he was probably right here with me when that was happening. That's usually what that means. So I love you, Dad. And even my aunt that died from bowel cancer, I was feeling her energy. Love you, Aunt Llewellyn. And I was talking about that with that guy, the older guy in the colonoscopy area, because he was telling me how his mother-in-law, the one that's 99, she has dementia, and they're thinking she may not have much longer. And I said, yeah. I was like, I watched my aunt wither away. My aunt got down to 74 pounds, and she had that colostomy bag from the bowel cancer, and she would throw up her bowels. It was horrible. And she would be so embarrassed and she would cry and I would just hold her. My aunt looked like a walking skeleton before she died. So as much as I missed her, I was grateful that she didn't have to suffer anymore. Because I couldn't imagine that, vomiting up your bowels. I don't ever want to imagine that. So like I said, I thank the Most High that I'm not dealing with bowel cancer. That is a huge blessing. Lord, thank you. No matter how I feel, I'm so grateful for that. And I'm going to keep my energy elevated in a state of gratitude. I'm grateful for everything, you know. Grateful that my homeboy was able to drop me off and, you know, he's been checking on me and Cody's been checking on me. Dion checked on me. All of you have been, you know, your comments and I just want y'all to know, man, I love y'all so much because when I go to approve the comments and I see all the concern, you know, you guys you make me feel and let me know that you really do care. And that means a lot to me. So thank you. Shout out to all of you, you know, for your love and concern. And I am victorious, I am healed, and I am abundant. And everything's working out for my favor. What's your opinion? Said sending hugs and prayers. Thank you. I'm not sure if I've seen you in the chat before. If not, thank you and welcome to my channel. But I appreciate all of you guys so much. So I'm going to jump off. My stomach is kind of gurgling. So I'm hoping that I don't have to go back to the bathroom. Like, Lord God, I don't. I just want to rest. But yeah, I think, like she said, it's probably the rest of that bowel prep. I'm like, after all that, I hope everything is out. But yeah, I can feel my stomach kind of gurgling a little bit. So I'm going to try to go to sleep. That way, if I do got to go, I'll just go when I wake up. So yeah, I am blessed. Thank you, Cody. I am blessed to not have bowel cancer. That is huge, super huge. And I'm just so very grateful. I'm so very grateful. Because like I said, watching my Aunt Luella go through that there would be so many times I'd have to step out of the room because I would start crying. Because y'all know I'm an empath and a clairvoyant, a psychic. I could feel her pain. I could hear her thoughts. I was hearing her ask God to take her. And I knew she was going to pass. And that night, she didn't know I heard her thoughts, but I did. And that night I dreamt of her funeral. And then she passed away a couple days later. So, thinking back on my auntie, you know, I'm so grateful that I'm not having to deal with that. So, you guys, thank you. Thank you for your positive energy. And I'll keep you guys posted on everything, okay? Love you guys. Thank you, Dee's Peeps. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.